Hey everyone, you're very welcome back to this week's garden video here in Spice Home and Garden. I'm joined by Ryan here this week, and this week we are going to have a look at lawn care. Now lawn care is a very big sort of topic, there's an awful lot in it, so we're just going to focus on maybe the three main points that we get asked about, and that the three main things that I suppose people want to know are about when to feed your lawn, dealing with moss in your lawn, and weeds in the lawn. So we'll just briefly hit off each of them, and I'm going to start us off, and we're just going to talk briefly about feeding your lawn. You can feed your lawn sort of generally about 3 times a year. So people feed in the autumn, spring and summer. So obviously we've missed the autumn time now at this stage, so we'll just look at the summer feed. The summer feed that you'd be using is effectively the same one that you use in the spring. So the one we have here at the moment is Aftercut by Westland. It's a really good product that you can put onto your lawns now at the moment. So I suppose the important things to think about when you're applying the feed are just to make sure that the soil is moist, the grass is dry, and if they're forecasting any big heavy rains, forget about it, because it'll just get washed away too quickly and it'll have no effect. So as I said, this is the summer feed, and you would have basically a higher concentration of nitrogen in a summer feed. The autumn feed will be a lower concentration because nitrogen is what's going to give you that green growth, the lush growth. You don't want to be bringing that on the autumn. So your autumn feed is going to be a higher potassium and phosphorus content, whereas this one will be more about the nitrogen. So it's a really good feed. You can buy it. This one has got a ready to use sort of little spout on it, and we have it in bigger bags as well that you can put into a little push spreader. So it's a really good feed, so that's the one I would be recommended for the moment. Now Ryan is just going to have a look at moss and how to deal with moss in your lawn.
Thanks, Liam. Hello. I'll be talking about the moss that's encroaching in your lawn. That occurs by the buildup of organic matter that kind of weaves together underneath your grass. It's also called thatch. There's a few different ways to get rid of it. One's mechanical, and you use a scarifier and you kind of go along and you dig it up. But the other way, and a little bit more simpler method, would be using Mossmaster. This covers about 400 square meters, which is roughly, let's say, the size of a tennis court and a half. And this you don't have to rake anything. You just apply it, and it uses beneficial bacteria to take care of the moss, and it actually breaks down the moss and uses it as a feed for your lawn. So it's kind of a 2-in-1. So that's one of the great things about it, as opposed to like a sulfate of iron, which would just kill the moss, and then you're kind of left up to rake it and feed it and take care of it yourself. So that's pretty much everything that I have. To you, Liam.
Thanks very much. Now, lastly then, we're just going to take a brief look at how to control weeds. I suppose the most common weeds you'll see in your lawn are daisies, dandelions, buttercups, and then there will be some stronger weeds as well, like docks, ragworts, thistles. But if you use something like this lot here, which is a Resolva lawn weed killer, it should deal with most of them. A product like this will kill your daisies, dandelions, buttercups, probably in one treatment. Stuff like the docks, the ragwort, they might need 2 applications because they're a much stronger weed that have a stronger root on them. Like a dock has a big thick club root. They're very hard to kill, and they'll just they'll just shelter down there in the lawn, and they're quite hard to get rid of. So 2 applications of this for those stronger weeds. Again, when to use it, you want to be using it a day like today would be perfect, where weeds are actively growing. So when something's actively growing, it'll take up the weed killer, it'll spread it throughout the plant, and it'll kill it off. So that's a really good one for a concentrate. And if you have a smaller area, you've got something like this, which is just a little ready to use, you just literally squirt it on and the job is done. That's pretty much it for all we're going to cover today. Now, as I said, lawn care is a massive topic, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into us on Facebook or Instagram, or even better again, call into the shop and see us, and we'll See you when we see you. Have a good weekend. Thanks very much.